All right, it's media day. We are talking 558 Division One, and I got Newman Smith head coach Robert Boone with me. Coach, man, you had a solid season last year. One tough loss to WT Wake kind of kept you out of the postseason, but a lot to build on for the 2023 season. Are you having an exciting off season? And if so, tell me why.
And we're super excited over here in the land of Troy. We've had some of the best workouts with our kids. The buy-in, the culture from the kids to the coaches have been outstanding. Going into year 3, there's a lot of things in place and in motion where our kids understand exactly what needs to be done to achieve something that hadn't been done around here in a long time. We have a bunch of hungry kids that have experienced some first around here, so they've had some success. But also we've learned from some of our losses, and so with a lot of guys returning, I got a lot of guys with chip on their shoulder and elite focus. But we're significantly bigger, faster, and stronger. One of the best off seasons I've been a part of.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, earlier in the week, I talked with our insider, Professor Diggs, Matt Diggs, and he's all kinds of excited about Newman Smith. He's like, man, I'm going to make a trip to Standards. I haven't been there in about 10 years. I'm going to make a trip. I'm going to be there. So he's about as excited as we are. And one of the things I'm excited about is it looks like you got a solid ground attack coming back with Christopher Hughes and Jaden Coulter coming back. Now, I don't know about the offensive line. Every time I talk to a coach, they're like, well, we got to work, because there's 5 members of that line. And I know some of them got to graduate. So talk to me what you think your ground attack's going to look like in 2023.
Yes, I've been fortunate enough since I was an offensive coordinator to have potent run games when I was at Estacado and at McKinney High. And I'm just blessed to always turn up a couple of backs that can rock and roll. Here's a great stat. Jaden Coulter and Chris Hughes, they essentially split the backfield last year and both had a little over 850 yards apiece.
Wow.
And splitting that backfield. And then also you add in our 3-year starter, Pearson Ruggiero, at the quarterback position. He rushed for a little over 700 yards. And so those 3 guys they're a problem. I mean, they're lightning quick, and they all have just elusiveness, agility, and strength. Jaden Coulter squatted over about 530 pounds in the offseason. All 3 guys ran track and were at the 10-9, 11 flat, 100 meters. And so, man, these guys are hungry. And I look forward to setting a standard running the football for sure. And our offensive line up front, we have a lot of continuity up front. I returned 4 out of 5. And those guys are I mean, they do everything together. I mean, they eat together, they work out together, they play the video games. They always in here at the field house. They're on the board. We've had Coach Dennis, our offensive line coach, has been here for 3 years. Done a great job with believing in the system and teaching it. And those guys are chippy. We got a great center, Alex McClain, in the middle. He's a problem. I mean, and he was a starter as a sophomore last year in the all-district selection, and so he leads that pack. But I got a great group up front. We keep them healthy.
What are you guys looking at? I mean, the stats prove it right there for the running games. But what are we looking at on the defensive side of the ball? I know you returned one of the first-team all-district players with Jalen Moses coming back as safety, but those top 3 teams in this district, they punish teams, offensively. So how's the defense looking like to maybe be able to counteract those guys?
Well, we made some schematic changes that I think is going to help us out. This defensive group that you'll see in the 23 season is a lot longer. Safety bodies, outside backer bodies. And so we're going to do some things to kind of cover the back end and show some multiple fronts and some multiple looks on the back end. Jalen Moses is just an absolute man, and he's caught fire with a lot of college coaches across the country. I think he's at about 15 to 18 Division I offers right now. But he's a tackling machine and he's a playmaker. But most importantly, he's a captain, and he's doing a great job leading our defense. And we'll be a lot older on our defensive side. Last year, I think we only had returned 3 defensive starters on last year's defense. And so there was a lot of growing pains, and these guys are older. I have some younger talent that's going to fill some voids. But I believe we only lose about 3 starters defensively. So a lot of guys coming back with a lot of speed and length.
Well, one thing that we did when we started digging around through the stats is I need you to go to Carrollton ISD, get together with the Turner and the Creekview and say, hey, man, get me off at Thursday games, because the Thursday district games, you got outscored 179-82. But other than that, you were solid. So if we can get you off at Thursday games, we're in good shape. Now, I joke about that, but those top 3 teams, Timberview, Burrville, and Richland, they are teams that can demoralize a team. It's okay to take a loss, but to feel like you're not in it. Now, I feel like this year you might feel like you can be in those 3 games, maybe even pull off 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, that's the goal, and I've been pointing out those losses all off season, and working to put our teams in some adversity and some situations, and try to work to relate it to some of those game situations. Mansfield, Timberview, Richland, Birdville, great programs, established programs. And I loved getting a taste to see exactly what we need to do in the offseason to compete against those teams. And if you can go back and look at a few of those games, you could see a series or 2 that if it goes a little bit differently, we may make that more of a game. But I definitely plan on being way more competitive with just learning from the losses and that we had, and our kids know about it. I've been hanging it over their head for the last 6-7 months, and so we plan to play a better brand of football, cleaner. Those guys are so disciplined. And we got to play a cleaner game of football. I believe if we play a good, clean game, leave the penalties out, take care of the football, we could play with anybody on our schedule.
That's awesome. So we started off on a positive note. Let's circle back around to it. What would it mean? 4-4 last year in district. What would it mean to get that 1 extra victory, get you to 5-3, get into the playoffs? What would it mean for that Trojan family, that Trojan culture?
I'm going to tell you what, it's been a journey, Ward. Coming here and just reestablishing the belief and the energy and the buzz in our community and on our campus it's never been better. And I always keep it in the forefront of my coaches' minds and our players' minds, is that, man, you guys are about to be a part of something really special. It's bigger than what you may think at this moment. But we have a lot of opportunity to be remembered around here in the land of Troy for a long time, just because of the woes of the history, and working to build a winning culture and a culture that expects to play in the postseason, expect to win in the postseason. That takes a while, and I honestly believe that we're at the threshold of it. And once we walk through it, it's no telling where this campus is going to head, because I'm telling you, we're on the verge of being great. We overcome a lot of adversity, and I just want it for the kids. I want them to see the fruits of the labor, and see all the hard work, and knowing that, hey, if I believe and I keep working and stay committed, something special is going to happen. And then they could take that with them forever. They'll be able to achieve anything they want to achieve.
That's awesome. That's what I like to hear. All right, Coach, thanks again.
Thank you.